I'm now joined by Violet Mariacha. She is one of the 23 presidential candidates who will be competing on the 30th of July 2018. Welcome to 260 Chat, Violet.
Thank you.
Right. What's your highlight? How important was it to you?
I think we have started. We have made a step towards peace. There's no peace as yet, but that mentality, knowing that we don't want violence anymore, is the important step we have taken.
All right. And maybe your personal pledge. I'm sure you know we are promoting the peace pledge. On personal level, what's your personal pledge?
As a presidential candidate, a female candidate, women, we are lovers. We are not violent people. So obvious, we are promoting peace and love. That's what I can say. I commit to loving my country.
All right.
I commit to peace. And I say on behalf of my members of UDM, United Democracy Movement, we are all committed to peace.
Okay. And did you hear anything about the code of conduct?
Yes, I did. It was one of those documents we signed at the, when we got through the nomination court. Yes, we had a lot of documents, and so we are just.
What do you think? What do you think about it after going through it? What's your take on it?
You know what? It's just a matter of following things. But to be honest, the ZEC are not being fair on us. The way everything is being run, there is no transparency. So you could not question that code of conduct, because once you start doing that, you are out of the race.
All right.
Sebastian Brack from the Kofi Annan Foundation in Geneva.
All right. What's your take from this event? Do you think it will be helpful? Do you think it will work?
Well, it's too early to say whether it'll work, but I think it's very helpful. I think that the code of conduct in itself was a fantastic step for Zimbabwe, but I think that a code of conduct in law is one thing. It's another to have the presidential candidates commit to it in public like this, in a very public ceremony. So it's not a silver bullet, but I think that the key commodity in any election is trust. And I think trust here has been in short supply because of the history of violence and mistrust between the parties. So by having such an event, you help to fight against that mistrust, and I think it helps to create a more peaceful environment for the elections.
And maybe your highlight of the event.
Well, since I used to live here, I'm impressed by the degree, the freedom of speech and tone that I've seen over the last few months, which for anyone who knew Zimbabwe a decade ago is truly astounding. I think that's a very positive sign. It's amazing how open the country has become. I think, as Mr. Annan said in his speech, Zimbabweans have found their voice. And I think the elections are going to be a key moment when they express their voice. And I hope that this will pursue the transition process which is underway.
So, had you been Zimbabwean, out of curiosity, had you been Zimbabwean, we are promoting the peace pledge.
Yeah.
What would be your peace pledge on personal level?
Well, I think that they recalled the words of Joshua Nkomo, who said that peace begins with you, peace begins with me. People tend to blame the politicians, they blame the police, and it's true that they have a lot of responsibility, but I think each individual has a degree of responsibility. Between the action and the behavior, there's a personal choice. So I think every Zimbabwean has a personal choice in how he or she will behave in the month to come.
I'm here with Nyaradzo Charidza from
Alliance for the People's Agenda, Dr. Nkosana Moyo's led party.
All right. We are promoting the peace pledge.
Yes.
What's your peace pledge on personal level?
On a personal level, I feel that it's very important that this year in 2018, even though it really is a watershed election, I think as Zimbabweans we must also put peace first, unity, tolerance. I think those are absolutely key. And so therefore my peace pledge is to accept divergent views and accept that we are all Zimbabweans. And what we're fighting for is a progressive Zimbabwe.
And what's your take on the event? How effective do you think it will be? Towards elections?
I think this event actually went very well. It's the first I've heard of such an event. And I felt that it was really good for all these partners, the international partners and Zimbabwean partners, to come together to acknowledge actually that Zimbabweans are having problems with accepting each other and accepting each other's differences. And it's really incumbent on all the political party leaders and the presidential candidates to take it upon themselves to ensure that within the party that they are speaking peace, they are speaking tolerance, they are speaking unity, and all these values that are actually African and also very much Zimbabwean. Yeah.
And maybe the highlight, your highlight of the program.
The highlight?
Yeah.
I'm going to be a bit selfish because the highlight for me was signing for my party. So of course that was a first, and that certainly wasn't anything that I imagined. But I love the fact that all the parties were represented. That in itself shows a certain level of maturity on everybody's part. So outside of my own selfishness, the fact that all 23 candidates were represented or were there, that is excellent.
All right. Thank you, Nyari. Is it okay if I call you Nyari?
Absolutely, that's
all right.
fine.
Thank you
Okay,
for
thanks so
your
much.
time.
All right.
With me now is Desire Ncube from
Freezim Congress Party.
All right. You're representing
Mr. Joseph Makamba Busha.
All right.
Yes.
All right. And how important was this event to you?
Well, this event means a lot to us, particularly as a party, considering that we are a party that believe in peace. And as we are going towards election, I think this event will go a long way because political party leaders have committed themselves to be peaceful. So my belief is that they're going to cascade it down to their supporters and their sympathizers, and hopefully we have a peaceful election for the first time since independence.
All right. And your highlight of this event?
Well, as I have said earlier on, the event was very helpful, and basically we are happy that as a nation, and lastly, we have come together and we have decided to be signatory to this peace pledge. We have seen that both MDC factions have come together and have signed the peace pledge, as well as the ruling party, which is very key to the people of Zimbabwe. So I think political party leaders walk the talk, because doing what you have done is one thing and implementing is another.
All right. And, speaking of that pledge, what's your personal pledge?
My pledge, and I'm also standing in Mfakosi as a member of parliament, my pledge is that as a nation, as a people, it is our primary objective to create an environment which is peaceful. So as we are going towards the election, I'm urging our fellow Zimbabweans to be very peaceful. I'm urging political players to campaign peacefully and also vote peacefully, because there's life after 30 July. So we should be peaceful here now, and we should be peaceful after elections.
And also, do you come across the code of conduct?
Yes, I did.
Yes. What's your take on it? What do you think about it, about the topic?
I think there are some things that needs to be addressed. One, for us as a country to have a peaceful environment, one, the government should be committed, because the government is the one which is at the pinnacle of everything. So the pace that the government sets determines everything. So the code of conduct basically is a good document, but I think the government will be committed more than anyone else.
Thank you for your time, Desire.